Hi there, and welcome back to the Coping Skills series. I'm your host, Tom Dubray, and today we're going to look at thought records. This is a core foundation of the CBT when you're looking at it from therapy perspective. And so we're going to start pulling a lot of the lessons that we learned. So if this is your first time stepping in here, this is probably the wrong class to step into if you haven't taken any of the other in the series. So these thought records are going to start pulling a lot of what we've done. So we're going to be using negative core beliefs. We're going to be using fact versus opinion. We're going to start looking at pulling all of these into one exercise. And so what we're going to do is that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to get you to pick a scenario, and it can be the same scenario that you used in one of the other sessions where something was very upsetting for you, and something that you can describe in 2 or 3 different sentences. And so that's what we're going to use as our template. So if you have a copy of our coping skills manual, it'll be on page 31. If you don't, there is going to be a copy in the link where you can go to Get Self-Help at .co.uk, and it's going to be it'll be the 7-column worksheet that you're going to want to download. And you can, I believe, from that website you can make as many, well, you can download it and make as many copies as you want. So this is going to be, because this is really a very foundational piece of CBT therapy. And if you do well with this record, most people do experience a rapid change in how they perceive things and how they interact with things. So so this one's going to be a great skill to have, and again, it builds on the foundation of what we've already built in the previous sessions. So I strongly encourage you, if you have not taken some of those before, you've never done CBT before, I would encourage you to go back through some of the rest of our series and then come back and revisit this one. For those that have done this, or you're feeling brave and you're wanting to plow forward, and you got your copy from Get Self-Help, then why don't we, then we're going to proceed with this. So what we want to do is we want to take a negative automatic thought. Now that can be a core belief that happened with the scenario. That can be just your general impression of something, but what was your negative automatic thought? And so I want you to write that down, and I want you to try and summarize that. Okay, so pause the video, and I'm going to get you to write that down. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is I'm going to get you to write down the emotions that you felt as a result of that negative automatic thought. And I want you to rate those emotions from 1 to 10. If you have a flood of emotions, I want you to pick the top 3. If you can get it down to the top 1 or 2, that would even be better. But I want you to write those down, and from 1 to 10 intensities, 10 being most intense, 1 being not at all. And they can both be at 10 intensity or 1. They don't have to add up for a total of intensity between them all. So I'll get you to pause that, and I'll get you to write that down. So the next we're going to get is this evidence to support the thought that you had. So the negative automatic thought, what was it about the scenario? Sorry, I jumped the cue. You should describe the situation, then the emotion, and then the negative automatic thought. So we're going to restructure that, because if you're looking at the 7-column thing, you were like, wait, you went out of sequence. So so once you've had the negative automatic thought and the emotions, and you have your inaccurate scenario, what was the evidence to support the thoughts about that scenario? So this is very similar to what we did in the last session. But what are your thoughts? That evidence to support it, not your opinions, the facts. So you want, again, if you had to go to a judge and say this happened and this is the evidence to support it. So I'll get you to pause the video and to do that. Okay, so now that you've done that, what is the evidence that does not support that negative automatic thought? This is a little harder to do, but this is where the mind shift starts to happen. So again, we want not opinion, but what are facts that show that you know that negative automatic thought is not true. So I'll get you to pause and fill that out. Okay, so the next is going to be, is the negative automatic thought true or is it false? Because sometimes we have legitimate reasons to be upset and there's absolutely factual information. This thing is just to try and get us so that we're dealing with factual or not factual. But if it's not, factual, or if the negative automatic thought is false, what is an alternate thought that you can have based off of the new evidence? So I'll get you to pause the video and I'm going to get you to write that down. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to go back to the emotions that you were rating before. I'm going to get you to write down those emotions again, and I'm going to get you to rescore those. So based off of all the evidence that you've done, has your emotions changed with that? Has the intensity changed? Now, for some, it might be higher. For some, it might be lower, and for others, it might be the same. So I'll get you to write down again, 1 to 10, 10 being most intense, 1 being not at all, for the emotions that you had before, based off of the new evidence and the new thought. Okay, so congratulations, you have actually completed your first thought record. Now, don't get discouraged if you're feeling like this is a tough assignment. It is a very tough assignment, which is why I'm going to get you to do more, because I give you homework every session. So I want you to try and do 2 thought records where you're trying to process this. And if you have struggling with some of the, like, is this right or is it not, you can go back through some of the other sessions to kind of review some of the other techniques that we did, because those will help you with this. But really where people struggle is, okay, is this factual or is this opinion? And if you find that you're really off, as far as the, then is your negative automatic thought the one that's really bugging you? And that's where people will get a little bit stuck with this technique, is they'll focus on one thing, but it's actually not the thing that's really bugging them. And so there's nothing wrong with going back and be like, yeah, you know what, like I actually, like, I'm still really upset, I'm still 10 out of 10 for anger or irritation, and it's like, and most often it'll be because you've used the wrong negative automatic thought. So what else about that scenario was really irritating other than what you described? And then go back and do the evidence to support it and not support it, and see if that makes a difference. And so that, because that's usually where things will go down the wrong path. So I want you to try and do at least a couple of these before we proceed to the next session. So I want to thank you. This is a tough session, so congratulations if you made this through this one. You did an excellent job, because this is a tough look at some of the behaviors that we do. So thanks for participating, and we're going to see you in the next session.